Hello, third graders. Welcome back to our read aloud time. I'm really excited. We're getting into the good parts of our book today. So we have been reading The Witches by Roald Dahl, and we just had the chapter of Bruno Jenkins disappearing. And the Formula 86 delayed action mouse maker worked. And our character, remember, he's still there in the room, trying not to breathe or do anything to draw attention to himself. This chapter, though, is called The Ancient Ones. And remember, ancient means old. So let's see what we learn about the ancient ones today. The Grand High Witch stood on the very center of the platform, and those dangerous eyes of hers traveled slowly around the audience of witches who were sitting so meekly before her. "All of those over 70, put up your hands," she barked suddenly. 7 or 8 hands went up in the air. "It comes to me," said the Grand High Witch, "that you ancient ones will not be able to climb high trees in search of gruntled eggs." "We won't, your grandness. We are afraid we won't," chanted the ancient ones. "Nor will you be able to catch the crab cruncher who lives high up on rocky cliffs," the Grand High Witch went on. "I can't exactly see you sprinting after the speedy cat springer either, or diving into deep vorts to spear the blabber snitch, or striding the bleak moors with a gun under your arm to shoot the blabber squirt. You are too old and feebly for those things." "We are," chanted the ancient ones. "We are, we are." "You ancient ones have served me well over many years," said the Grand High Witch, "and I do not wish to deny you the pleasure of bumping off a few thousand children each, just because you have become old and feeble. I have, therefore, prepared personally, with my own hands, a limited quantity of delayed action mouse maker, which I will distribute to the ancient ones before you leave the hotel." "Oh, thank you," cried the old witches. "You are far too good to us, your grandness. You are so kind and thoughtful." There she is, holding up the delayed action mouse maker. "Here is a sample of what I'm giving you," shouted the Grand High Witch. She fished around in a pocket of her dress and brought out a very small bottle. She held it up and shouted, "In this tiny bottle is 500 doses of mouse maker. It is enough to turn 500 children into mice." I could see that the bottle was made of dark blue glass and that it was very small, about the same size as the ones you can buy at the chemist with nose drops in them, so like this big. "Each of you ancient ones will get 2 of these bottles," she shouted. Thank you, O most generous and thoughtful one," chorused the ancient witches. "Not one drop will be wasted. Each of us will promise to squish and squallop and squiggle 1,000 children." "Our meeting is over," announced the Grand High Witch. "Here is the timetable for the remainder of your stay in the hotel. Right now, we must go all out on the Sunshine Terrace and have tea with that ridiculous manager. Next, at 6 o'clock tonight, those witches who are too old to climb trees after Gruntel's eggs will report to my room and receive 2 bottles each of mouse maker. My room number is 454. Do not forget it. Then, at 8 o'clock, all of you will assemble in the dining room for supper. Remember, we are the lovely ladies of the RSPCC, and they're setting up 2 long tables specifically for us. But do not forget to put the cotton plugs up your noses. That dining room will be full of filthy little children, and without those nose plugs, the stink will be unbearable. Apart from that, remember to behave normally at all times. Is everything clear? Any questions?" I have one question, your grandness," said a voice in the audience. "What happens if one of the chocolates we are giving away in our shops gets eaten by a grown-up?" "Well, that's just too bad for the grown-up," said the Grand High Witch. "The meeting is over," she shouted. "Out you go." The witches stood up and began gathering their things together. I was watching them through the crack and hoping to heaven that they would hurry up and leave so that I could be safe at last. "Wait!" shrieked one of the witches in the back row. "Hold everything!" Her shrieking voice echoed through the ballroom like a trumpet. All the witches suddenly stopped and turned and looked at the speaker. She was one of the taller witches, and I could see her standing there with her head tilted back and her nose in the air, and she was sucking in great long breaths of air through those curvy pink seashelly nostrils of hers. "Wait!" she shouted again. "What is it?" the others cried out. "Dogs' droppings," she yelled. Just then I got a whiff of dogs' droppings. "Surely not," the others shouted. "There couldn't be." "Yes, yes," shouted the first witch. "There it is again. It is not strong, but it's there. I mean, it's here. It's definitely somewhere not too far away." "What's going on down there?" shouted the Grand High Witch, glaring down from the platform. "Mildred's got a whiff of dogs' droppings, your grandness," someone called back. "What rubbish is this?" shouted the Grand High Witch. "She just has dogs' droppings on her mind. There's no children in this room." "Hang on," cried the witch called Mildred. "Hang on, everybody. Don't move. I'm getting it again." Her huge, curvy nose holes were waving in and out like a pair of fishtails. "It's getting stronger. It's hitting me harder now. Can't the rest of you smell it?" All of the noses of all the witches in that room went up in the air, and all the nostrils began to suck and sniff. "She's right," cried another voice. "She's absolutely right. Dogs' droppings it is, strong and foul." In a matter of seconds, the entire assembly of witches had taken up the dreaded cry of "dogs' droppings." "Dogs' droppings!" they shouted. "The room is full of it. Pooh! Pooh! Why did we not smell it before? It stinks like a sewer. Some little swine must be hiding not so very far away from here." "Find it!" screamed the Grand High Witch. "Track it down! Rattle it out! Follow your noses till you get it!" The hairs on my head were standing up like the bristles of a nail brush, and a cold sweat was breaking out all over me. "Rattle it out, this little lump!" screeched the Grand High Witch. "Don't let it escape. If it's in here, it has observed the most secret things. It must be exterminated immediately." That's the end of our chapter. Our next chapter, Metamorphosis. Bye, guys.